working for the universe, what is that like? There's a couple of analogies I can share with you in this, and I think one that could be fun is you go skydiving, and you're all for it, you're all in it, you're like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, I'm amped for this, I'm aligned to this, like this is my calling, my purpose is to leap out of this plane and have this amazing like experience, and like everything in you is just like screaming like yay. And you go up in the plane, and your ancestors and your guides are all with you, and they're all like yay, and everyone is just so amped for this. And if you do have that moment hesitation, invariably one of them will just push you out, but invariably you leap out because this is all just amazing and in alignment, and you're in free fall, and you're like, wee, this is fabulous, this is everything I imagined it would be, and it's just wow. And you're like, where's my parachute? You kind of like your ancestors, your spirit guides all around there, and they're all like, yay, this is amazing, right? And you're like, where's my parachute? And they're like, and you're like, what does that mean? What is this? What sign is that? What symbol are you giving me? Like, what is that? And they're just like, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. this is what it's like working with the universe sometimes. It's like absolutely, you feel like you're in complete free fall, like you've leapt off a proverbial cliff edge, you've trusted their guidance, and you're following the path, and everything is aligned, and everything feels amazing, and you're having huge awakenings and breakthroughs, and the path is awesome. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, where's my parachute? then you're in free fall chaos, and you're hurtling towards the ground at a gazillion miles an hour, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna die down there. And the ancestors are just like, and your spirit guides are like, and you're just like, what does that mean? Like, but that's invariably where you then ask the questions like, did I leave my parachute behind? Am I to blame for the fact that I have no parachute right now? And if you don't have a parachute, did they take my parachute away for a reason? Maybe I don't need the parachute. Maybe the parachute isn't even real to begin with. Maybe I'm not ready here. Maybe none of this is real. Maybe this is all just like, figments of my imagination. Maybe you sprout wings and learn to fly. Ta-da! And that's why the ancestors are all just like, because you got this. Like, you've got to figure it out for yourself. That is what working for the universe is like. For people who have natural gifts like healing and mediumship, psychic abilities, we connect with the spirits, we connect with guides, and we haven't had a traditional culture to grow up in, because if we did, we would have had elders and a predecessor to be like, cool, come, you're the next one in line, let's train you how to do all of these things, and they would have jumped out of the plane with you, and they would have gone. But at least there's communication is a little bit more 3D world, and at least you can smack them for just doing this. But for those of us who don't grow up like that, we're born in all different cultures, all different corners of the world. There's nothing unique to just specific traditional cultures. Like, we're born everywhere. And yeah, working for the universe, when you don't grow up in a traditional culture that has someone to be like, cool, they will throw you out the plane and do the thumbs up for the universe, we've got to figure that stuff out on our own. And that honesty is a pretty good analogy for explaining what that kind of experience is like. And I think for people that have gone through huge transformations, massive awakenings, tower card moments, if we want to bring the tarot analogy into this, I think you would probably relate to the where the fuck's my parachute, and ancestors and guides has been like, cool, you got this. So yeah, that's definitely one great explanation for like what it's like working with the universe and learning with the universe. Kind of the stuff they shove you through. Another great one is I like to explain it as I'm an employee of the universe. Like, the universe is my boss, and being an employee of the universe is like very different to working for a 3D world company. There's no HR department to complain to. Communication is obscure for most part, where you're, you know, like, what is that? Um, yeah, there's no emails, there's no memos, there's no staff training. Well, no, there is staff training. You know, let's go back to the skydiving analogy. Like, that's what staff trainings look like. Yeah, there's no heads of departments. Um, it's just like, this is who you work for, and you've got to figure a lot of it out. There's absolutely sick days. There's mandatory sick days where they're like, cool, you're going to have this illness now because you need to learn some stuff. But we promise it's for your own good. It's for your growth and development. There's, yeah, that I think the lack of communication part is the part that most of us that are medicine people and figuring this stuff out for ourselves, sure, the communication aspect is the hard part. But yeah, the universe is it's a different type of boss. Hey, it's like, that's an entirely different working experience. But when you do, as you grow in your gifts and your abilities, and understand how to connect more deeply, and you understand things like this properly, which comes with experience, it comes with a whole lot of trust. Trust building. Skydiving is trust building with the universe. You know, all these things come through experience. And for those of us, like I said, we don't grow up in traditional cultures. We don't have that predecessor. Some of us, I've seen people that have, I know an amazing woman. She's originally from the UK, lives in South Africa, and she's a trained Sangoma, which is a Zulu tradition of healer. I've seen people go across cultures and train with Peruvian shaman, and you know, all these medicine people in like actual traditional cultures. And then there's those of us who, you know, we learn with what I call the people upstairs. we learn from those people. And sure, they send us, you know, the occasional 3D world mentor or guide or teacher or, you know, random stranger to pass along another message. Yeah, working for the universe is weird. Like, being an employee of the universe, I think, is a phenomenal description for someone who is naturally gifted, called to the path, works with ancestors. You're absolutely an employee of the universe, and what a confusing company to work for. Like, we request like orientation, like 2-week orientation, a user manual, and heads of department, please.